Can't really go too quick in here, but I've lost my nopper. Has the Porsche 911 GT3 RS gone too far? Because, well, look at it. First of all, we have this wing, which is so high it looks like it belongs like a handle of a pram. That wing, by the way, has an F1 style drag reduction system, or DRS. We have cutouts front and rear. We have these to eject turbulent air from inside the wheel arches. By the way, there's active aero, because you can't have active aero at the rear and not at the front. So there's active aero here as well. That means I've had to move the radiators to the middle and have this big vented area to chuck all the hot air out. Now it looks kind of like a 911 cup car for the road. We're used to kind of these incremental changes between generations of 911s, but this has just gone absolutely bananas. But has it been taken too far? Have they now made it too focused for the track, and is it now a complete nightmare to drive on the road? We thought we'd find out. We started our journey in Monaco, which is the slowest F1 track by average speed, and we drove our way up to here in Monza, which is the fastest by average speed. So we have town driving in Monaco, lots of kind of boring motorway journeys in between, and then a lap on, as you can see, quite a mucky Monza circuit. So let's rewind to yesterday at the start of our journey in Monaco and see how we got on. Here we go, heading out for what will be a very leisurely lap of Monaco. I have started the Sport Chrono stopwatch, just because I'm curious to see how long this actually ends up taking us. I'm trying to think what the pole lap was this year. 1 minute something or other. This will maybe take 10 times that, let's see. The whole point of this is to see how the GT3 RS handles a bit of city driving, and straight away, yeah, it's quite firm. There is a sense of plushness to that damping. It's funny, you don't realise with Monaco, you watch it on TV or you play it in the games, you don't realise how reliant you are on all the temporary furniture that goes up to try and work out where you are. I think I know where I am on the lap. While we're sat here, we can have a look at all the different modes. So we're currently in normal, there's also sport, track. Oh, different display. Now it's shouting at me, but you can decide exactly how off it is. So you've got levels from completely off to 1, 2, 3, 4, oh hang on, 5, 6 and 7. Yeah, you can also decide how aggressive the torque vectoring is. Yeah, and you can on the fly adjust the compression and rebound front and rear independently of each other. I feel like you're going to need like to borrow water rule or something to get the best out of that. Now in Casino Square, I think, where there are many Christmas trees. Yeah, they go big on Christmas here, don't they? Yeah, there are times at which this is feeling like a very wide car, but then so is every 911 now. There's no such thing as a narrow body 911 anymore. Whether you've got basic Carrera, 3RS, Turbo S, it's going to be big. There are, I think, more police per capita in Monaco than anywhere else in the world. Can't really go too quick in here, but yeah, a little squirt. Oh, yes. I'm so glad this engine is still sticking around against all odds. Yeah, lap is now coming to an end. Some ever so slight jerkiness from the gearbox, quite firm suspension, but not really any trickier to drive around town than any other 911. I mean, obviously, well, anywhere else in the world, you'd be very conscious about how much attention you'd be attracting with that gigantic rear wing and all the other sort of little sprouty aero bits everywhere. But here, yeah, I think here this is probably a fairly normal car. Here we go, and let's come to a stop and see what the stopwatch is on. 14 minutes, 17 seconds. So yeah, probably about 10 times as slow as an F1 lap, but an interesting experience nonetheless. After driving up the coast to the Italian Riviera, we got a good night's sleep before departing the next morning for Monza. Yes! Oh, I do like that. So day 2, we are back in the GT3 RS, but we are quite a long way from Monaco now, making our way through Italy, and yeah, got a bit more room to stretch its legs. This is the motorway that runs along the coast of the Italian Riviera, and yeah, lots of tunnels, lots of them. got a little taste of this yesterday in the famous Monaco Grand Prix circuit tunnel, but yeah, slightly longer tunnels here, and we can do more than 30 miles an hour. Now, initial impressions, yeah, everything's quite busy. There's a lot of kickback from the steering, so you are sort of making lots of little micro adjustments. I have driven this car on some British B roads and found much the same. The damping is, you know, there's quite a lot going on. Like I say, I can feel every single little undulation. But in this softest damping mode, it's not sort of crashing down through the compression stroke. It's funny, it's 500 and a bit horsepower in this. Doesn't really sound like a whole lot these days. Not when you got, you know, like a McLaren 750S with, well, about 750 horsepower. Like really, that is plenty. You feel like you can just, you know, you can put your foot down, you can go through a couple of gears and not be doing silly speeds. Paddle shifters. Seems like a weird thing to single out, but I've just gotten out of a 718 Spider RS, which uses pretty much the same parts as you've got in various other Porsches for the PDK automatic gearbox. And I thought they felt nicer. These are kind of a bit, ooh, it's like yeah, they're a bit clicky, for want of a better word. Gearbox itself, of course, fantastic. Doing exactly what I want on the downshifts, no hesitation, changes up quickly as you like. It's really good in automatic mode actually as well. I am getting a bit peckish though. Oh no, covered in nopper. Yeah, the quality of the road surface has gotten a bit worse, and I am starting to feel it. The other thing is, yeah, my back's starting to hurt a bit. But I mean, I think I would get the same with any Porsche product with these fixed back carbon seats. Another little observation as we sit in yet more traffic, you can see the heat, the wavy lines coming off of the front mounted radiators. So yeah, the Spider RS in front of me looks all wavy and shimmery. It's kind of a reminder that this car is rather serious.
One chunky and surprisingly informative motorway drive later, we arrived at Monza for some fast-ish laps.
Right, so first laps I've ever done at Monza, and it's greasy. One thing, it's probably the fastest lap you've ever seen at Monza. And the other thing is I may not be talking all that much. For now, you just have to cope with my gurning, concentrating face. Well, okay, loads of crap on the track. And many years ago, when I was a wee lad, I used to play a game called Grand Prix 2. Monza was the track I would usually do. So to be here, charging my way down it, well, maybe not charging, but going at a decent-ish pace, in a GT3 RS, yeah, that's a pretty big tick in the life boxes. And that is that. I think the main takeaway is just how friendly this car feels. I mean, you look at it and you think it's going to be like a, you know, basically a 911 GT3 R racing car for the road, and it's not. I have driven one of those, may have spun it and flat spotted the tyres. There we go. That's a big tick in the box for me. Monza. Maybe not the most ideal conditions, but a lot of fun nonetheless. Now, I talked earlier about the 911 Cup, but this doesn't feel anything like that on the track. It is still very much a road car. Don't get fooled into the way it looks and thinking it's going to drive a certain way, because it's actually really friendly and really approachable. And I know it's extremely complicated with all those different suspension modes, but it's as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. The fact is, you can drive it on a track, and if you're a novice or a pro, it's going to flatter you either way. And the stuff in the middle of the road, I mean, yeah, there are a few points where there are these bits where the road surface is kind of joined up and you're kind of going va-dung, va-dung, va-dung. And yeah, that did get a bit annoying, but I spent 3 hours in this or thereabouts today and I felt quite happy being in there. That car might have been more comfortable, but it was all fine. So yes, I know it looks a bit ridiculous. I know it's very complicated. It's also extremely expensive and quite hard to get hold of one. But I'm glad Porsche has gone this way with it. It's completely bananas, but so it should be. We might not have cars like this for a whole lot longer, so to see Porsche just kind of throw caution to the wind and go a bit nuts with it is really quite heartening. The only problem now is I have to leave this car behind and go home, which is very sad. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to Car Throttle Extra. Go to carthrottle.com if you want to see lots of car news and reviews and some stuff about this, because I will be waxing lyrical about it very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Can I get up now because my arse really hurts?